towards him, whatever it had been for him to choose him. And as the Lord tells you, you know, as in the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So the same things is playing out. It's that flood-like behavior, as some would say. All right? And what happened at the beginning must come again, 4 and 15.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 15. For his soul pleased the Lord, therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked.
Right?
Verse 15.
That was like he hasted to take him away from the wicked. Don't be hasty the day of the coming of the Lord. Yeah.
This the people saw and understood it. Not neither laid they up this in their minds.
So like, read it back from the top. This people, they saw it and understood it not.
Mm-hmm. This is Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 15. This the people saw and understood it not.
Yeah, they saw it and they didn't understand it. What? When Noah was building the ark, when he was putting in the work, is sitting back like, man, what's this guy up to? What's he doing? Okay? They didn't understand that the Lord was dealing with him, that they was working with him. Noah looked crazy as shit. Just like we look crazy. It's a Wednesday afternoon in the middle of Babylon. Okay? While people are caught up in their folly. They see it, but they understand it not. Continue.
Neither lay they up this in their minds.
And neither laid they this up in their minds.
That this grace and mercy is with his saints.
That his grace, all right, and his mercy is with the saints. Didn't it say that Noah found grace in the eyes of the Heavenly Father? So they don't lay it up in their heart and in their mind what's going on. To them, it's just a spectacle. And it's meant to be that way. It's supposed to be something of shock value. Okay? As I explained earlier, it's like taking a pill to wake you up out of the matrix, man. All right? Everybody else who was still connected to the matrix, they were still a potential enemy. All right? It was something that was strange to them. You see? But for those who was woken up, they was able to see the evils in the world. They was able to maneuver a certain way.
That's right.
Through the world that the average man couldn't. And that's all by way of the Spirit.
And that he hath respect unto his chosen.
And they didn't consider that he has respect unto his chosen. So, you know, to have respect unto them, man, is a what? Have some type of favor. Same thing as in the days of Noah, man. So all this is due because of the evils that are multiplied upon the earth. All right, and we're going right back to the beginning. The Heavenly Father declares the beginning from the end. All right. Now, let me grab this real quick. I had it in Isaiah. Just to speak on it one more time. This is Isaiah chapter 24, in verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languishes and fades away, and the hardy people of the earth do languish.
Languish, man. And we always speak of that in Isaiah 24. But go ahead and read that again, but for sure.
The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languishes and fades away. The hardy people of the earth do languish.
They're going to languish this time. See, as we see, like we said, it's the mid of the week, and we're seeing folly and mirth go on.
Right.
But it says that they shall languish. Go ahead, will you read it again, Brother Chuck?
The hardy people of the earth do languish.
The hardy people, man. The people of just doing this folly right now. You know? Go ahead.
The earth is also defiled under the inhabitants.
And we just said that the earth was defiled under who? Under the what?
The inhabitants.
And then the uninhabitants. And who is that? We told so-called Esau who was leading. Like the brother was just saying, who gets on a private jet and spend $30,000 to fly to New York to California and blow all emissions in there, and then he'll get up on the council meeting and tell you you wicked.
Warming and shit.
Global warming. Yeah.
You gotta stop driving your car.
Yeah, you got can only do it 4 hours.
Yeah,
but I'm a substance to the roof.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And then they got fucking big ass factories
Yeah,
that blow fumes of smoke into the sky.
Yep, con.
You know? Hey, man, he a damn hypocrite.
Yep, con.
And it says the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant.
So that's what we always say, man. That once you start getting outside of the commandments, man, you start to fall. Just like we fell. Once you start getting out of the law, statutes, commandments, or what Yahweh Shemiah Shai commanded us to do, you start to fall. Like I did a video today, you see Esau falling to his knees, working for UPS because it's so hot outside. You know, us men of the Lord, like my brothers wanted to come out here. It's 96 with the feel like of 110. You know, but through the spirit of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, he called me and we came out here to preach his truth. You know, the water Yahweh Shemiah Shai, that he gave us a little shade, man. But it's still hot. But we don't complain, man. We understand. We understand why is it like this, man. We understand that like the inhabitants of this world polluted it.
Right.
That's why we're in this predicament, man. We're in this predicament because we don't have the true leaders, the true Israelites leading this world.
That's right.
And the brother, the Edomite asked him, can this be fair? Well, we had to go through all the cycles for breaking the law. You know, we had to go through all the cycles of going underneath these heathen nations, so that the Lord will have you, even when you're working, you be working and you'll see a so-called Edomite come by you, and he'd be like a nerd, man, and he's telling you what to do, and he could be like 22, you know, he could be like, he could be about 22, and you could be like 28, 35, and you gotta listen to him, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's with every nation, man.
Yep.
Even when you see Elam own a lot of hotels. And who works for Elam, man? Issachar, man. Folding up the towels, cleaning up the room. Jake at the front desk, or Jake is cleaning the toilets. So no matter where you go, you in that captivity, man.
Yeah, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 65. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
And do not we do all those things? When you read that again, Brother Bishop, we're gonna stop on each point.
Yeah, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
So you find no ease. What ease do you find, man? You know, you don't find no ease. Go ahead.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
You don't have no rest. You 2 jobs. You know.
Yep. Still barely make it.
Barely make it. We always go Baruch 3 and what's that? 8, 3 and 18. Subject to payments. So no matter how much you work, you still. Go ahead.
Yeah, you just got enough for the next
you
day.
Got enough, man.
It says, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart.
So a trembling heart. Me and my brother say all the time, you see, a centurion behind you.
Yeah, okay.
You're trembling at that because you don't know what that may lead to, man. Yeah. You know?
That motherfucker like a dog. You know, you walking down the street like, hey man, sometimes you don't know to run or not, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he might be playing with you.
Right.
And he might be trying to bite you, man.
That's right.
You know, that's how Esau, he riding behind you, man. It's like, damn, let me take this right.
Yep.
Let me take this left, man. You know, don't even turn too quick.
God.
That's a curses, man.
That's a curse, man.
Because he's supposed to be the basest man.
Yep.
And here we go, man. Hey, we gotta flee from him because we have no power here, man. You know?
Matter of fact, I just saw it. Go ahead, keep reading.
Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
Failing of eyes, and go ahead and speak to it up.
And sorrow of mind, man. Hey, we got to deal with all these things, right? Your eyes shall fail because you may hope in something, man. All right? And guess what? It's not going to happen. You can see something afar off for you here in Babylon. And guess what, man? Hey, your sight done failed you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, you know, tomorrow. That's how Jake do in their pride. I'm going to do this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what, man? Hey, because you have no wisdom, the Lord might not even let that come to pass for you.
Right.
All right? Because you in hell. This is a condition. And that's what he had to explain, too. Because he was asking, do you think people are going to go to hell? Is hell a place? No, hell is a condition. All right? Our people are in hell. All right, this is Esau's kingdom. This is the glory of our kingdoms. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody comes here to eat off of his plate, you know, and to lick our wounds, man. And our wounds is us not knowing who we are. That's why Moab will come move into your neighborhood and tell your wife that the hair that grow on her head is bad. And sell you some bullshit that Elam done sold there. You know, they trapping it out. And they prayed over it. And then your woman end up bald head, man. Yeah. You know? It's funny because you gotta laugh to get through this, man. Dude. You know? Yeah. But hey, as we said, this is a condition. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is in their good estate. Hey, we the ones going through hell. Yesterday, just so you know I'm not no damn hypocrite. Yesterday, man, hey, what I do, I called you. I was like, man, Elam and Esau giving me hell. You know, I was ready to fucking go home and swing on something. Not, you know, I was ready to swing on something, man. Right. Gotta watch my words, Jake, and try to condemn me. Yeah, But hey, man, everybody else is eating good here, man. Besides us, this is part of the curses. So, you had something to say?
Yeah. It's like we said about the heart being, you know. Can you go back to that?
It's like it says, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
So you know that's what he give you, and this is what Esau, like we said all the time. He always bring this out, but you got to, like the brother said, you gotta laugh or keep from crying, man. This is Psalm chapter 10, verses 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the village. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when we come to camp, sometimes we might see a centurion just sitting there, man. You know, for what reason? Yeah. You know, he could just do it. All right. He seated in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places. Do he murder the innocent?
Right.
His eyes are privily
set
against the poor.
Yeah, and they privily set against the poor, man. Why the fuck you ain't out there patrolling your neighborhood like that? Why he always in your neighborhood? Yep. Why he always in Jake's neighborhood trying to harass us, man? Mm-hmm. You know? Yep. If we in Esau's neighborhood, hey, he'll pull us over. Out of everybody here, I'm the only Jake in this part of the city. You want to pull me over? Why? Because his eyes is privily set on the poor, man. Yep. You know?
That's what we always talk about Psalm 64. He does a diligent search.
Yeah,
You know? That he wants to know why you doing what you doing. Just like the Edomite that came by to ask us questions. He could have walked by us, but he had to find out what you was doing, so that he can see. Like he's constantly trying to figure you out, doing a diligent search on you. Understand it, trying to figure out why are you wearing these garments?
Yeah. Why aren't you sagging your pants?
Why aren't you sagging? Why you think the way you think? What he said, he had a master's in what? Theology, man.
Trying to figure out the Most High, right? Through seminars and shit.
So you know, that's what Esau do, man. You know, Esau he wants to hit. Will you just pull that out, Psalm 64? You know, he wants to do that diligent search. So, cause you know, like me and my brother always say, Kwame always say, if someone knows a lot about you, what can they do? They can use it against you, man. You know. Because that's why when you get around someone for the first time, you don't tell your whole life story, man. You gotta feel the room. You gotta give what you get. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, if somebody knows too much about you too quick, then he can demonize you. He can do anything against you, man.
That's right.
You got it?
Yeah, this is Psalms chapter 64 and 6. They search out iniquities.
Come on, they search out iniquities, man.
They accomplish a diligent search.
They accomplish a diligent search, man. So when you get pulled over or whatever, most people just, you know, slow down.
Yep.
You know,
Give him a warning.
Give you a warning. Yeah. But Jake in the car, they want to look in the car, smell it.
Ask you where you going.
Where you going? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He's doing it to condemn you.
Right.
Because he wants you to be like, well, what is you doing over there on that side?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I had someone tell me that one time. What is it in this area? It's just business.
Yeah.
You know? It's, you know, you do it. But they want you to be over in the hood because they think you should be serving your people, which we do. But you also got to make a livelihood too, you know? Yeah, so when they ask you these questions, go ahead.
This is Psalms chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
Yep.
Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
So he said what about the inward thought?
He says the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
It's deep. They're meditating, you know, why?
Yeah,
you know?
That's why when you get pulled over, you know, they be like, you got the right to remain silent. Because what? Any and everything you say shall be used in the court of law, man. Yep. So he trying to get out. That's why, you know, Esau, he asked you 100 questions because he wants you to condemn yourself, man.
Yep.
You know? End up saying that you was over in some area where we just had a crime.
Right.
A black male was from over. You know, he go call it up. Next thing you know, 3 cops that pulled behind you, man.
For something as minor as maybe having a brake light out or something, or you know, a light out or something. You know what I'm saying? You looking like, you know, hey man, there's 1,000 things you could be doing.
Yeah. We all one and the same to them. You know.
Yep.
That's why they'll just say black male.
Yep.
You know, well, black male what? Black male 5'6". Your ass is screwed, man.
Yep.
You know?
Because they know that's almost the average man. It's between 5'9", you know. So you can measure it up to anybody. But I mean, you know, it's just a spirit, man. We were supposed to be going into leadership, you know. But something else came in, and the Lord brought the spirit. You know, we may bring that back when you going into
that's it on that. I mean,
so yeah, we were just speaking it because, you know, Esau comes up, or you know, we live in a predominantly, you know, Edomite, you know, city. So when they see things outside of the norm, they do that. You know, they're going home and calling Barbara, man. You know, Mary, did you know they did it? You know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand who we are.
Yeah, I got a precept, matter of fact. It's Iraq chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And why did he say like iron? Right. What's Esau on a totem pole? You got the gold, silver, brass, and then Esau, man, the iron. That's his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though it may be wiped away, because what he do? He fell. Esau fell. And he came back, man. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm a nice guy now. Yeah. No. Hey man, your rust still remain. I ain't trying to.
You still the same.
Cut.
And the thing is, he's slithered. That's why when we say that you're the devil, you get mad because you understand who you are. You understand your walk. Like if you dare come up smooth. We all talk about that Psalm 55. They speak smooth things, buttery things, man. Smooth like butter. But war was in his heart. So every time they come up, you always gotta know they got war within their heart, man. Because it takes 1 or 2 words that can piss them off.
Right. Because I mean, who am I gonna believe? Esau or the scriptures, man? What does it say? Never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Anyway, when we watched the movie, what's that? Planet of the Apes. You know, there's a part that says you be wary of the
Beastman.
The Beastman. You know what I'm saying? Be wary. Go ahead and read that again, Bubba Kashad.
Yeah, it says, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou wipest a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away.
So like the brother was saying, you know, you that rust doesn't go away with him, man.
Yeah.
It constantly stays on him no matter what. He tries to be, even if he tried to be good, the wickedness still flows through his blood.
Yeah.
You know?
Because he's always going to want to overthrow. If we can sit down and try to break it down to him, it's plain and simple. You love God. All right, well, he said this, and it's not unrighteous, man.
Right.
Hey, what did the Lord tell Israel and all the other nations when it came to Nebuchadnezzar? He said, if you don't bow your neck to the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, you're going to be destroyed. So, hey, we had to bow our neck to Nebuchadnezzar and serve him for 70 years, man. All right? And, hey, we had to put up with it. Well, hey, his time is coming, man. He's going to have to put up with it. And we could break it down to him all like that, but he's like, nah, man, you know.
They don't seem right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and reread it. Well, it's been there, man. This Bible been here forever, man. Now, just like these brothers always say, now the Edomites want to pick up the Bible and read. You should have been reading. What was you reading to the Israelites, man?
Yeah.
What was you reading in these churches if you wasn't reading the Bible?
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, serve your masters, man.
Yeah,
ain't that what you said? Serve your masters, man. You get into heaven.
Yep.
Well, hey, man, you got to do the same. When we tell it to you, now it's a different story.
Yeah, it's a different story,
you know?
man. Yep.
It ain't right. That's not my God. It's not. You know, that ain't your God. Your God is not the God of the Bible, man.
That's right.
Your God is a figment of your imagination.
Yeah.
That's something that you created, and you know, that hides your best, most skilled painter, you know, to draw and to brainwash people, man. Okay, to have them believe in a narrative that's not even in there.
And the key thing is, like you said, the rust. Even though we told him the true name of the Most High was Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he still went back to JC.
Yeah.
So it just lets you know that rust, it ain't gonna change, man. Tell him the correct name of the Messiah, and you still go to what you know, because you ain't gonna never wanna accept us. That's why at the end they said that, you know, even though some of them ain't gonna want to do what the Lord said, for them that they don't want to serve me, come and slay him before him, man. Because he understand, man. Esau and the other heathen nations not gonna want to serve us, man.
Hey, think about what Esau said. His own father said, "Hey, you gonna have to serve your brother. Your father said this. You have to serve your brother." He's like, "Now, when my father died, I'm gonna kill this nigga." You know, he rebellious like that, man. There's no way in Esau's mind that he sees himself serving us, no matter where the authority came from. Okay, it could be from his actual father to the father of all spirits, man. You know, he don't want to see us on top, but he was made that way. You know,
and that's basically what he, you know, like we always speak of. It's always, you know, prevalent when you go to your job and you see Esau, your boss. Well, I hate to say the word boss, but he's your superior manager or whatever. He shows you his true characteristics, man. Cause Jake gotta be like, man, I don't want to do this. This is not in my job description. And they always pull that card. Well, if you don't do it, then you'll lose your job. You know? He'll pull that power card on you every time, man. And then Jake have kids or whatever, he has to take that low road. That's why we was reading earlier, it was at Deuteronomy, that you're not gonna have peace. You're constantly gonna be in that state of really just fear. Because hey, you gotta be able to eat, you gotta be able to survive.
Yeah. So
Esau will have you in a predicament where, you know, unless you got a job that ain't worth nothing. You know, Jake lose. He work at a fast food restaurant. He'll lose that job. He'll pick that back up. But if Jake got a wife and kids and he got a good paying job, he's not just gonna walk out, you know, with ease. He's gonna think. He's gonna think first. Man, I'm gonna have to be a bigger man.
Yeah.
Because I have bigger responsibilities.
Yeah, responsibility.
And that's what we was just saying a few minutes ago about coming in, about leadership, having a responsibility to tell the people how it's supposed to be. Because you have a greater responsibility to tell the people all the way down how you're supposed to be. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 31.
Uh-huh.
He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? So, hey man, if you already an honorable man in this low estate that you in, you know, you don't even got it like that, man.
Yep.
But you still have a certain level of integrity about yourself. How much more in the kingdom, man? You know, when you have dominion, all right? And that word dominion goes into king's domain. The area that the king rules, man, you got lands. All right? If you was already doing things of a high degree when you ain't got nothing, how much more when you have it, man? All right?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, what did Jake do when he stand at a step? And he's with his brothers and his boys, like, man, when I make it, I'm going to set this up this way so that my people don't have to suffer that way. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because he understands his walk at that low place. He don't want to have that same way of living when you get to the high place, man. That's why when Jake thinks when he go into Esau's system that he gonna change something, man. You ain't gonna change nothing. You could become a lawyer, a judge. You're not gonna change what Esau has created, right?
Your heart is set right.
Yeah, your heart is set right.
But Esau won't let you do it, and that goes into the next verse.
Come on, go ahead.
It says, he that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches, and he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? Because Esau, he's dishonorable with it. Okay? Even though Esau got all these things and he can change stuff, he's not going to let you, man. Though your heart is set right. You know? Because he's in contradiction. That's why Jake, like you say, hey, Jake will want to try and change the community. But then find out Esau got all these legal loopholes and now you can't build this here and you can't do that. You know? But your heart is right. And that's all that really matters. Okay? Just look at Esau as a burden in the way. All right? That's soon to be removed, man. So you have to keep that certain level of integrity. All right? So that way when you do get to that position, and you know how to be a righteous judge about it. You know how to do things correctly.
And that's the whole thing I was saying about keeping the commandments. Keeping that righteousness, man. You know, that's why knowing the law, statutes, and commandments and doing them is so prevalent, so righteous. Because once you do them, you're gonna feel good. Because you don't have that. We always speak of all the time. When someone do something wicked, they gotta carry that burden, man.
Yeah.
You know, you go do a job and you do something at your job that you know it wasn't right. On your way home, that conscience, that guilt is on you, man. You like, man, I didn't really want to do that, but I had to do it because I had to get that deal done, you know. But when you do that, if you do it righteously, and no matter what it is, and the Lord bless you, whether you lose your job or not, you got that peace. You got that and it's hard, bro. We all done faced it. That's the reason why when I was in a higher level, you're blinded to the commandments. Why? Because all you worried about is completing the goal, which is making, you know, the goal, reaching a higher level. All right.
That wisdom of Salaki. Sirach chapter 11 and 1. Wisdom lifts up the head of him that is of low degree and makes him to sit among great men. All right. So, hey man, how do you attain unto that level of honor? All right, you gotta know how to operate in lowliness. All right, with wisdom, and that'll shoot you up to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Not selling out and trying to make yourself into something that you're not. That's not how it works. Okay, you just operate with a sense of meekness. All right, and the Spirit will deal with you then. Matter of fact, Sirach chapter 4 and verse. Salaki, bear with me. God, slipped my mind.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, the point is, he said the scriptures talk about as thunder goes before the lightning, so is as thunder is before the lightning, so is favor before a man of man, I should have slipped my mind.
That's all right.
Yeah.
But the point, you know what I'm saying, we'll put that scripture in the comment section. But as he's finding that, man, you know, like you said, wisdom is always that comfort so that you can judge accordingly, man. So that you can see the things that you're supposed to judge accordingly. You know, when you're a man of the Lord and you read these scriptures and you know something is right and then you do something wrong, you're going to be convicted, man. You're going to be convicted of doing something wrong when you know you're supposed to be righteous, man. So when you're looking at a certain thing, you want to judge according to the scriptures, through the commandments. And like the brother was saying, we all go through that grievousness, you know, because we're still in this flesh. We always speak about being in this chains of darkness. The chains of darkness that we're in. We're constantly battling that flesh and that spirit.
I'll keep on moving. So like,
I will. Hey, we get that precept. Me or the brother will put it in the comment section so that we can edify and justify you accordingly, man.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start back at wisdom. Sirach 11:1. Wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of low degree, and makes him to sit among great men. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. And that goes into wisdom, man. You know? Matter of fact, grab Job chapter 32 and verse 7. You know? You can't just commend a man because, you know, of his outward appearance. You know? Though he looks wise. Though he might be an elder. Like certain things like that. Hey, these are all biblical principles, man. You can't do that. It's all about the inner man. All right? Certain men, they might see you with the cleanest garment on, and they like, oh, he gotta be that gotta be the greatest teacher right there. You know, you see him with the mitre on, and he got the military boots. He look like he mean business, but he the biggest liar in Israel. All right.
This is Job 32. I'm gonna start with 8.
Yeah, let's go 8.
Let me start at 7. This is Job 32 and 7. I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom.
Yeah, days should speak. Because remember, when we was out here teaching 2 weeks ago, that Freemason came up. He's like, how you gonna tell me? I'm 60 years old. How old are you? Hey, that don't matter, man. It should speak. You know, but sometimes it don't. Read it from the top, Bible.
This is Job 32, verse 7. I said, days should speak, and multitudes of years should teach wisdom.
And multitude of years should, see, if I use that word, it should teach wisdom. You should be wise if you are elder, but continue.
But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding.
Yeah, but the Spirit of the Lord is what gives you understanding. You see, this is not a carnal thing. All right? Because he came up here with a master's degree in theology.
Right.
That's carnal, man. That's of the world. That's not what teaches you wisdom. Read it one more time. What gives you wisdom, man?
This is Job 32, verse 8. But there is a spirit in man.
Yep.
And the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding.
And what's the inspiration of the Almighty that flows from it? It talks about the wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom is an inspiration of the Heavenly Father, man. That moves through all things and is untouchable, undefilable. All right? That's what teaches you wisdom. Continue.
Verse 9, Job 32 and 9, great men are not always wise.
Yeah, and just because you're an elder doesn't mean that you're wise. They're not always wise. You know, there's sometimes old men who they dote about. All right, every ass they see, that's all they can talk about. You know, or he could just sit there and talk to you about shit that he did back in the day, or I could drink this many beers and shit like that, man.
That's why it speaks. What is that? Where it speaks about a man that travels. You know, in the Apocrypha, when it speaks about the man that gained that experience. You know, I believe it was like, you got it? Go ahead.
Yeah. Sirach chapter 34 and 9. A man that has traveled know of many things.
So if you looking at, like the brother was saying, if you got a man that never been anywhere, all he did was drink 40s and sit on the porch.
Yeah.
How can he tell you and experience everything? It goes back to Job 32. He says, great men are not always wise. So if a man doesn't have that travel, how can he tell you, man? Yeah. You know? Yeah. Go ahead and read that.
Yeah, it says, a man that has traveled know of many things, and this is a spiritual journey. Hey, some of y'all still on the porch when it comes to things in the spirit. You know, you only know what the pastor taught you. You know, that's on the porch knowledge. You know, you still a baby in the crib. You ain't been out. You haven't. The Lord hasn't dealt with you and put you in a situation that you had to escape. All right. It says, and he that has much experience will declare wisdom.
Read that one more time.
Yeah, good. Sirach chapter 34 and 9. A man that has traveled knoweth many things, and he that has much experience will declare wisdom. You know, so hey, you have to gain spiritual experience,
That's
man.
Right. That's right.
All right. Not only just going to and fro in the earth, you know what I'm saying? You could sail the seas, man, and still not know nothing. All right. It's all about a spirit. What did you see through the spirit? What did the Lord teach you on those trips that you might have went on? You know,
we say that all the time with the jobs that we have. Sometimes we may go to a spot where we don't feel ease with it, but you may go into that spot and you was able to give Jake an opportunity to know who he is. You know, you might say, I just want to let you know you're an Israelite. You know, but the first time you see it, you like, man, I ain't going there. You know, and you be like, but sometimes when you go and the spirit leads you to go, my brother was saying that a few minutes ago, when the spirit leads you, like the spirit led him to want to come out here and preach on a Wednesday. We normally preach on Saturdays, which we did, in which Yahweh willing will preach again Saturday, but the Lord had pricked his heart to come out here on this Wednesday to teach. Because really, if you really look at it, the experience that we really gained from this is when that so-called white man came, or Edomite came, he was able to get taught through what we do on Saturdays, man. We're at a different location right now. We're set, like, we ain't nothing but a couple steps from, you know, the campsite. But we're just in a different location. But when he came by, he said, what do you guys do? We always see you, you know, here and right there, you know, because we always change according to how the sun is, man. Because it, you know, we, you know, our you know, the technology don't run well with the sun beaming on. The point is, man, you know, the travels I have you growing, you know, to when you might go to another block. I remember my brother was speaking about it earlier about finding fish, you know, or sheep. You know, sometimes we might stay here and might go somewhere else. It might catch something, man. Today, we didn't even know we was going to speak to that brother, you know. I mean, that, you know, that it's like the Edomite. We didn't know we were going to speak to him. But the Lord had us to come and speak. But the experiences of traveling, man, that's what it gives you.
Sirach 34, in verse 10, he that has no experience knows little. But he that has traveled is full of prudence. When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. I was oftentimes in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. Hey, man, you know, we were talking about that because hey, doing what we do, hey, man, you don't know where you're going to end up. Hey, 1 second, you in the heart of Esau land somewhere. Right. You know what I mean? And if your car stop out there, ain't no telling what they gonna do to you. And then another one, you out in the middle of the hood, man. All right. And but all those things are learning experiences. Like, damn, why the Lord got me going through here at 2 o'clock in the morning with Jake on some bullshit. Hey, that's for you to gain experience, and through those experiences, man, hey, you shall be delivered, man. Because through Jacob's trouble, it's like, oh no, hey, you know, I know how to handle the situation.
You'll know how to when you get in that environment, like you said, how to speak to another brother.
Yep.
How to move and walk.
Yeah, how to talk him. Remember, how to talk him down.
Yeah, how to talk him down.
You know, because Jake could come up, he be ready to rob you. The shit that didn't happen, right?
Right.
Jake will be ready to rob you, but you through the scriptures, hey, a gift destroyed the man's heart,
That's
man.
right, yeah.
And you talk him down, and now he docile now. He like, nah, I ain't gonna fuck with this guy.
Yeah.
That's through experience, man. But somebody else, they get put in that situation, they gonna crack, panic, you know.
Get loud.
Yeah, get loud with them. Hey man, you gotta move. That's why Yahweh Shah says, hey, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents, okay, and harmless as doves, man. Hey, a serpent is a very wise, subtle beast, man. And you gotta be wiser than the serpent. What you know how to avoid a serpent. You see? And a dove is something that's very elusive. You can't catch it.
Come.
As soon as you try to get close to a dove, man,
It's gone.
you know, he gone.
Yeah.
You know? So you gotta be able to move that way, man.
Yeah.
Move in wisdom. That's gonna be one of the new phrases that you hear a lot, man.
Yeah.
Because that is what's gonna save you. Let me read it back one more time.
Come.
Yes, Iraq chapter 34 and 11. When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understood more than I could express. And it be like that. Certain nights, man, you know, if I was to sit there and tell you everything that happened, man, I'd be talking for hours. Because through certain experiences, there's inner monologue that you have with yourself. There's things that you observe with your eyes, okay? And I can't even put them into words, man. And to actually experience what my heart went through. You see what I mean?
Come.
And it says, I understood more than I could express. I was oftentimes in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things.
Come. So really, you know, that deliverance always comes through having that faith. You know, that's what the main thing is continue to have that faith. You know, that the Lord's gonna do, you know, because we're gonna be in some tight spots, man.
Yeah.
You know, brothers are now already in tight spots. So we gotta believe and trust in the spirit, in the faith, to be delivered, man. You know, brothers did plenty of videos on that. Because sometimes you do gotta move. Sometimes you do get stagnant. You want to stay in one area, you know. But if a brother see a vision or you know, the Lord give him in the spirit to move, then we move. Because we move through the spirit and we walk through the faith. Where it says, what's the scripture? We walk by sight. We walk by faith. We walk by faith, not by sight, man. So in our faith that we're walking by faith. And then the Lord will reveal, you know, where we need to be at that time.
Sirach 34:13, the spirit of those that fear Yahweh shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. You know, and a lot of times you might be put in a situation as a test of faith. How are you going to react to this situation that I put you in? You know, matter of fact, can you grab that Sirach chapter 2, simple scripture, right? How are you going to react when you put in this situation? You're going to give up on the Lord. That's why when you put in certain predicaments, you got to understand to take those things cheerfully. And I'll be careful when I say this because the Lord going to test you, man. Okay? But to take those things cheerfully so that when they do happen, all right, you can't be accused of Satan of saying, oh, man, he doubted you. Okay? He cursed you. Because you put that, ain't that what happened with Job?
Yep.
All right? Satan was like, look, let me jack Job up and let's see what he say. I bet that Job will curse you. So you got to go in certain predicaments like that, but trust in the Lord that he's going to save you out of them, man.
This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Yeah, prepare your soul for temptation when you come to serve the Lord, man.
Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
There you go, man. Yeah. Make not haste in the time of trouble. When you brought down to that lower state. And that's what it's all about. That's why he does those things.
Yep. As the brother was saying, as I always say, you always go through that. That's why when you look at anything it takes longer to go up than it to come down. Why? It's because you're learning the steps to get to the higher level. You don't just walk up a flight of steps. If you walk up a flight of steps real quick, you're gonna fall down them real quick. But if you walk, you might slip on staircase 5 and go down to 3. But you're only 2 steps from being 5. So you can walk up 2 steps. But if you fly up a flight of stairs to 10 and slip, you might tumble all the way back down.
Yeah, because you was rushing.
Because you was rushing it, man.
You know, you weren't giving place to the Lord to do His work.
Mm-hmm.
And Sirach 14 is like Sirach 34 and 14. Whoso feareth Yahweh shall not fear, nor be afraid, for He is his hope. You know?
So that's that hope. You want to speak to that?
Nah, you got it.
Yeah, you know that's that hope. Like I said all the time, when you go through something, the first time you go through it, it's you know you're a little shaken by it. You know, you got that. I don't know.
Unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, yep. Like the brother said, unfamiliar territory. Then once you tried it one time, you're like, I remember this.
Yeah.
You know, I remember this. Some men go ahead and just go eat the pain, you know, and that's faith. Some men, you know, they're kind of, you know, what does a cat do, man? When you first see a cat, they don't know you. It kind of step, you know, 2 or 3 steps, and it'll rise up, it'll raise up like, you know, and then it'll make the sound or whatever, man. Trying to fill out the, you know, try to fill out the area, the situation, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, there goes to the Sirach 4, the crooked ways.
Yeah, the crooked ways, yo.
You know, wisdom will try you and torment you, man. Mm-hmm. Because uneasiness is not what you think it is. Uneasiness, if you're in the spirit, is a teaching tool. Uncomfortability is a forger of a leader, man. You know, that's what shows you what you're really made of. It forges you. You see. It puts you through that fire, through that flame, to see if you're gonna crack under pressure. All right? Like for example, like the brother was saying, hey, through these experiences you learn. Tell me that Paul, you know, let me read this, right? This is 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 25. It says, thrice I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. Thrice suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I had been in the deep. And journeyings often, in perils of water, in perils of robbery, in perils of my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils of the wilderness, in perils of the sea, in perils among false brethren. Paul went through so much hell. You think that he gave it down when it was like, hey, you know they're gonna kill you. You know they're gonna try to kill you for preaching Yahweh Shai, right? Like, man, Paul didn't give a damn. By then, man, hey, he's like, man, they tried to stone me 3 times, man. You know, what more can they do to me, man? You see, that all happened by way of experience. So Paul was more bold to be able to speak certain things to you. All right? I think he said something about it, right? And that was the point.
Yeah, man. Like, and Yahweh Shai, when you look at the word pearl, what does pearl mean, man?
Pearl. I ain't got my phone.
What was that, like difficulties?
Yeah, like dangerous.
When we always say we come into perilous times, you know. I hope that's right, brothers. I believe it's right, though. Perilous times or pearls are times of difficulties. So as he was going through all those difficulties, he was understanding situation by situation, difficulty by difficulties. He understood how to overcome them. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when you overcome certain adversities, you get stronger and stronger and be able to face the adversity when it comes again. Because most of the time, adversities come more than once. You know, adversities, you know, you get tried the first time and you might, like I said, with the cat, the cat will take a couple of steps towards you and then what? You pull back, it pulls back. But once it has that sense, familiarity,
you know, now it's not unfamiliar ground, man.
Right, yeah.
You know, because it could try and get it, like my rib, she got a cat, so they could try and get up on a new cat post, man. It's a high spot. She put it up there at first, man. It wanted to jump straight off.
Right.
Okay, it was shaking and shit. but now the thing just jump up there. Because at first it's new territory, man. Matter of fact, let's just bring out that Sirach 14, man.
All right.
You know? Sirach, not 14, 4. Sirach chapter 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. This is Sirach 4 and 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him. Mm-hmm. All right? That's the uncomfortability, man. It's meant to be like that for you. That's why everything starts out hard. This ain't no easy journey, man. All right? Especially when I first came out here. Hey, man, it was a hard thing for me to try and teach. But guess what? Every day is more familiar. It's forging. You know? You can't stop it now. And every day I come out here, hey, I'm going to get better and better. All right? It says, she will walk with him by crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him and torment him with her discipline.
Yeah, so that fear and dread, man, is like that first time being out there. The first time when you first come out to an environment that you're opposed to, it's not until you go home to reanalyze it, man. But at first, that fear and dread comes into your spirit, the tabernacle. But it's like you said, it takes that familiarity of that environment that you understand. Go ahead.
It says, until she may trust his soul.
Until he should trust his soul, basically, man.
And try him by her laws.
So she'll try you by the law. So, like you said, man, every time we take a step, you get closer and closer to fulfilling strength.
Yeah.
The fulfillment. We always speak about fulfillment. And anytime you fulfill something, that means you completed it, man.
Walk across that bridge, man.
Yeah.
You set a dangerous place to fall.
God.
That first step, your damn heart is sink.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh shit. All right, second step, a little bit easier now, until you halfway there.
God.
You know, and you just keep on moving, because it's always a constant growing thing until we get to the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always going to be put in an uncomfortable position until the very end.
God.
But you learn how to overcome the opposition. All right, through what's the word I'm looking for? You know, you overcome the opposition by conquering it by each step.
Yeah, each step.
You know,
yeah.
I don't want to be too deep. Slack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the Lord putting you in uncomfortable positions, man. And that's a sign of growth.
God.
Like why? You know, he don't want you to sit back and settle on your leaves, man. You know, every day it's a new spiritual situation. Every day I wake up, I'm like, man, what the hell I'm finna get into? You never know, especially with what we do, man. And then the Lord teaches you certain things. By the end of the day, you come back full circle, like, oh, okay, that's what he was trying to teach me.
It's that king-like mentality, as we were speaking about earlier. A king, he'll sit on his throne. He just don't sit on his throne sitting on his throne. You know, he sits on his throne to think and meditate. You know, I always like to use the example of King Solomon when he had to make that decision between the two women and the child.
The spirit.
You know?
That was on that too.
Oh yeah, okay. So that was the spirit, the two women and the child. You know, being able to discern. That's what I pray for myself. To discern. How do you discern something? How do you discern whether this is an Edomite through the spirit? How do you discern how to make this decision or that decision? Because discerning takes time. A lot of people like to make quick. I always like to say, you got two different type of people, man. Some people like to play chess and make sound decisions. Some people like to play checkers and jump all over the board. They got to jump back 2 times, go up 3 times, come back 3 times, cross the board, and ain't really making no moves.
Yeah.
You know, but when you play chess, those moves got to be in a strategic measure. You can't just move those all over the board until you get to that higher level to be able to do it with a certain part. You know, such as a king or a queen can move about. But the point I'm making is that you don't want to be one who jump 3 steps forward like checkers, and then have to go back and try to explain.
Yeah,
you know,
you done destroyed your whole defensive line.
Right.
You know. You know, because you could have a checker mentality playing chess. Hey man, you just throwing pieces out. It looked like a strong move. You know, but hey, it got deceived, right? You know, and really that is a pawn sacrifice, and the pawn was to pull you in. You know what I'm saying? Because you're void of wisdom, you didn't understand it. You're moving on a one-dimensional level, but that's not what the Lord called us to do. That's why Solomon, the man of wisdom, right? What did he say? There's a time and place for all things. Right. A time for war, a time for peace, a time to speak, and a time to hold your peace, man. You know, and that's what these steps bring you to become even a greater leader, man. Because that's what we're in this for. It's for the Lord to mold and forge Himself great men. Okay, everything that you put, the whole reason you're in this is so what you can judge the nations, man. All right, don't you want that rod of iron to be able to rule over the nations when you can't give a full treasures, man? That's why it goes back to that first verse we had brought out concerning this, man. A man that is honorable in his poverty, how much more in his riches? If you got a king mentality now, how much more you get there? Imagine you, Jake, man, and you number 3 in charge. You know, ain't nobody else is closer than you besides nobody else is closer to Yahweh Shai besides you. You damn near like the Pope, right? Can't nobody say nothing to you. Well, how much more when you actually get there? If you already acting like that now, man, hey, in the kingdom, I mean, your head is so pumped up already. Why would the Lord give it to you, man? You have no humility, and that's a characteristic of a true leader. A leader isn't somebody that that just desires and craves day and night to be one. The Lord has to make you one. Okay, your title isn't what makes you somebody of value. All right.
As a matter of fact, you said earlier about building building a castle, right? What does Esau do before he builds a building? He has a blueprint.
Right.
You know, he has a blueprint, and he has a certain people working those blueprints. I got people building the foundations here. I got people doing electrical work here. Well, he has to have the wisdom to choose each and one of them individuals to build that building and build it correctly, man. Because if you don't, like we always say, you gotta tear it back down. And when you're making an investment, you don't want to tear down $1 billion investment, man. You know, I watched before, you know, when you have some downtime, you watch how Esau do wickedness with his stadium, right? He'll build his stadium, but he'll go back and look at the Colosseums, you know, from before time. But same thing as us. The Lord said what? Look at the fathers and the men of aforetime, you know, so that we can learn the things that they already went through.
Learn from their mistakes. Learn from their good deeds, right? Lack of a better term. All right, the things that they did right, so that way you can operate down that perfect narrow road, man. That's all wisdom is, man. Knowing how to discern things and moving in wisdom, man.
So you know, like I said, man, brothers, all we want to do is just get built up so that we can handle whatever the Lord give us in this time and the time to come. Because, like I always say, the Lord gave you 50 acres of land and 50 men, and each man had family. How do you discern how all the operation is gonna work? You know, you're gonna have to have wisdom to be able to discern the attributes to get everybody in a place of peace. All right, go ahead.
So, Sirach chapter 10:1, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
See, you know, so those are the things that you practice day and night. That's why the Lord says in Psalms 119, meditate on my. Where you get that book, Kasha? 119 and 15. It's basically, you know, the meditation thereof on the precepts, man. Why? Because how can you understand anything if you don't have an idea of what direction you're going into?
Psalms 119 and what?
15.
Psalms chapter 119 and verse 15, I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways.
Because you're going to respect unto thy ways. Why? Go ahead.
I will delight myself in thy statutes.
Yeah. So I would delight in the statutes because he knew that he'll be able to walk in that path because that's the path of righteousness. Go ahead.
I will not forget thy word.
So he don't want to forget thy word. When you go back to the other precept he was going into, it's a lucky.
This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people.
So as we said, man, once you get a plot of land, a wise judge should do what?
Instruct his people.
Instruct his people. How can he do it? You know, he has to have wisdom.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
So a government of a prudent man, somebody who's consistent, someone's always, what we speak of before, discipline.
Right.
Waking up in the morning at the same time, you know, making sure that you're disciplined in the way that you're supposed to be, you know, Shalamah. You know, making sure that, you know, that you're able to be consistent day to day. You know, sometimes the time may slip and something else may come up, but you want to be prudent. That means you want to be steadfast, firm on things you need to do. Because if you don't, then you'll start your city start to sink. Yep. Go ahead.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of a city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
So when you go back to the officer,
as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
So is his officers. So everybody who follow his suit is who he's gonna be.
Yep.
So if you lackadaisical, your officer gonna be lackadaisical. But if you're strong suited, defined, disciplined, have urgency to do something, then your officer is gonna do the same thing. Go ahead.
Right. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So, hey man, and who's the ruler of the city? Yahweh Shai. All right, those who are of Yahweh Shai are going to move as Yahweh Shai. That's why it says they follow him whithersoever he goeth. Okay, and you can discern between those who are true followers of him and those men who serve their own belly because they move in opposition of the household. See, verse 3 goes into that. It says, an unwise king destroys his people. But the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. You know, and an unwise judge destroy his people. All right, give you bad advice, shit that's gonna destroy your household. All right, all these things of a place of destruction. If you hearken unto that man, I mean, you yourself are gonna be destroyed, and just as out of order as he is.
That's why I always used to say all the time in my videos, leadership is important. And the reason why leadership is important is because most people follow suit, man, until they reach that structure or that statue of becoming a leader themselves. Because a person watch and see things from a leader, or they perceive that a leader is doing right. But if a leader is doing things, doing one thing, and then in front of you doing another thing, hey, sooner or later you're gonna be caught in them tracks, man. And then someone's gonna confront you with those actions, man. But like I said, man, when you're looking at being a leader, even myself, I look for leadership from the elders and apostles, you know, to see how I'm supposed to walk and move and turn. You know, first and foremost, we walk through the scriptures first. You know, that's the true truth. But the Lord had appointed us leaders so that we can be guided accordingly to what? The scriptures, man. So when the scriptures, you get to reading the scriptures and it doesn't make sense, you know, you want the leaders to be able to say, and you want to be able to go to your leaders and ask them, hey, I don't really understand this, or, you know, would you help me out on this, or will you help me out on that? Why? Because we're seeking out the vision of the leader, like we just spoke about. being able to have leadership, man.
Right.
Through what? Through wisdom, which me and her already walked through. So we need that leadership, you know. Younger brothers need leadership.
Yeah. And real leaders don't create more followers, by the way. All right? Real leaders create more leaders. You want to sharpen every man, you know what I'm saying? So that he could be the best man that he could be. You know? We all got to be on point, not just you. You know, we brought this out of camp. Yahweh Shai, he didn't come out and say, hey, you know, my father is who he is, man, you know. So you just gonna have to serve me, bow down, you know, at my feet and wash me. He didn't do that. All right, when Yahweh Shai came on the scene, he told his disciples, I'm gonna wash your feet. All right, that's humility. That's showing you a true leader. Not somebody who, you know, sits back on the flock and then uses them to serve him. Yahweh Shai said, the greatest among you shall be the servant of all. You know, and there's like a lot of guys in this truth that forgot that, man. Or they never had that understanding in the first place. Okay, and that's why it says, Sirach chapter 10 and verse 3, an unwise king destroys his people. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Okay?
And just like we were saying before, man, like the brother was like, you want to create new leaders, man. Because you want to appoint, like you might have lands where you need a man appointed there. You know, when you're in the military and they, like, just like Moses, man, didn't he appoint spies?
Yeah, they said they appointed certain men to go do certain things.
Yeah,
he had captains of 50, captains of thousands, you know.
So he has people, so you gotta continue to create leaders so they can understand the task at hand. When you're sitting in a board meeting, you're sitting in people that understand each territory. Every time you send someone to a territory, you believe him that he can go there. I need you, you know, Kwame, I need you to go down Florida. You know, well, a leader know that he can go down to Florida and handle business. Like Shalamah, I need you to go to Kentucky. You know, he got to be able to depend on me getting and sealing the instruction to go up to Kentucky and bring back what? We always speak back, either the lamb or the money. Because the Lord give you that money. So that money can be like, well, it can be twofold. Because you can earn by bringing someone else in. You know? So when you go to Florida and go to Kentucky, both men will come back, both men will come back, and hopefully they will be able to double something. Because, hey, when someone, I learned this in the business field. In the business field, everybody expects you to come back doubling your money. You know? When someone's getting ready to spend money on a hotel, flight, dinner with the client, they expect you to have, you know, they expect you to have that return,
some
man.
Results.
Yep.
And that's what, I mean, Yahweh Shai did that. He gave every man certain talents according to their measure. Now, the thing about it was, Yahweh Shai, he didn't come down here and say, all right, now go do this and go do that. Yahweh Shai led by example first. Okay, even unto death. So certain men can't be like, you know, Yahweh Shai asked me to die for him, but he ain't died for me. You can't say that.
Can't say that, yeah.
Why? Because Yahweh Shai led by example. He strove for the truth unto death. You know, he preached the gospel. He went city to city. He battled the Pharisees. All right. He went and stood before governors and princes, man. All right, and we do the same thing. And that's what a leader does, man. He leads by example, not do as I say and not as I do. All right. Let me get back to that. And it says, Sirach 10 and 4. Oh, no. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 21. It's like it gets good here. Let me go to 20. It says, among brethren, he that is chief is honorable. So are they that fear Yahweh in his eyes. The fear of Yahweh goeth before obtaining authority. But roughness and pride is the losing thereof. You see? Because you don't know how to operate in a proper manner, man. Okay? You want to throw your weight around and shit. All right, think that your shit don't stink. Okay? That's not how a leader operates. You lose authority because of that. The Lord will start cutting your legs down, man. All right? He says, let me read it one more time. It says, the fear of Yahweh goeth before obtaining authority. So, hey, man, that true authority is in the kingdom as well, man. But if you can't even handle it here, why would he give it to you there?
That's right. And
you know?
As we always speak of this, man, we speak to ourselves. We build ourselves up all the time of accountability. You know? My brother, we both give each other accountability, man. How are we supposed to do something, man? Why? Because you can't say one thing and not do the other. You know? The brother said, hey man, I got in the spirit to come preach and teach. I had the opportunity that my job is, you know, I'm able to do that. And I came and preached and teach for him. Why? Because the accountability that you have, I told him before, as long as he want to bring it out, I'll be there for him. So that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, the fear of Yahweh goeth before attaining authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof. Whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is in the fear of Yahweh. It is not meet to despise the poor man that has understanding. And that's wisdom for a leader, man. Hey, if you see that a certain man has a level of counsel about him, should you not inquire of it? The scriptures say there's 3 things that the Lord hates. It's a man of war that suffers poverty, and wise men that are not set by, and a man that returns from his righteousness to his folly. Okay? For all those things, he's prepared the sword for that man. So the key point is the second one. The wise men that are not set by. If you got a council of wise men, but you don't have them by you as counselors, hey, you got the sword prepared for you, man. Because the wise men are going to tell you what you don't want to hear. They're not going to fear you, okay? In a way to where they're like, I can't say nothing to this guy. No, that only a fool wants yes men around them. Con men. That's all they do. They just show up to camp and just say, Con, that's right. For 3 hours once a week. That's all they do. Got nothing else to bring, man. What kind of wisdom can you get from a man that disagrees with everything that you say, and you have no accountability? That's only the attributes of a foolish man puffed up with pride. Okay? That's why it says, it is not meet to despise the poor man that has understanding. And just because a man is of low estate, meek, okay, that don't mean, you know, disrespect them and run all over them and spit on them and all that crap, man. And it says, neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man. And sometimes, man, you got to understand that sinful man is you. You putting yourself on a pedestal like you somebody. And the whole time, man, the Lord will keep sending you certain people to talk to you, man. Guess what? You're not listening. And you magnifying yourself by doing that. And you letting all your folly be known to everybody. And everybody can see it. And it said,
we just said that, you know, same thing with David, you know. To go back to David. That's the wise men, man. That's the men that we learn from. Salaki, brother, I know you're on the road. So go ahead and be the spirit.
Yeah, you good, man.
You know?
Hey, we just speaking the truth of the scriptures. Yeah. All right, just giving an understanding. And if it doesn't mean that, then tell me what it means. All right. It says, great men and judges and potentates shall be honored. Yet is there none of them greater than he that fears Yahweh. You know. So, hey, man, because the scriptures say that a man that has much wisdom and transgress is worse than a man who knows little and still fears the Lord, man. All right? Showing that it's not about having that respect of the person, man. Okay? You got to learn how to judge righteous judgment, not just based on the outward appearance. Because this man got a title over here and he got a title over there. A title is just a title. A title means nothing. Any man could come through here and claim it and self-proclaim himself to be commander or whatever, man. Okay? But are you really a commander? Do you move like a commander? No. A commander is an action that somebody takes. He does certain things. A king is an action. A judge is an action. You know, Esau, you go to his court system, he got the title of a judge, but in the eyes of the Lord, he ain't nothing, man. Okay?
It's kind of like Yahushua, when they were trying to appoint him king, he knew his time wasn't yet, you know? So he would flee the scene, you know, because it was in his time. He had to go through that whole walk, that whole journey that the Lord had, you know, made from him from the beginning. You know, because men, most time men who are in leadership roles don't even want to be.
Right.
They spirit just resonate with it, and people and brothers and sisters, whatever situation or environment you in, they'll appoint you, man. They'll see that leadership skill in you. And they'll just appoint that brother like, hey man, he got it. Yeah, because we all know who the leaders are, man. Because their spirit, the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they perform, the way they bring out videos, the way they teach, the way they give you discernment, you know? The way they have time to speak to a brother when nobody else will. Someone might DM you or inbox you on something. You take the time out to speak to that brother. Hey, that's a beautiful thing, man. Because a lot of brothers won't do it, you know?
Yes, all right. 10 and 25. Unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free do service. Let me read it one more time. It says, unto the servant that is wise. All right? You're a servant first before anything. All right? Don't act like you already part of the 144,000 elect. You don't even know that, man. Okay? You're a servant first and foremost. Even Solomon, when he prayed to the Lord, he says, I'm but a child.
I'm but a child.
Teach me wisdom so I could judge your people, man. Ooh. So you got the king of Israel, or the chosen people of the Most High God, with one of the highest offices of authority, if not the most high, next to a prophet. Okay? And the first thing that he said was, I'm a child. Brought himself down, okay, to a state of humility and humbleness before the Most High. He didn't just boast in it, was popping his collar, you know, I'm the king of Israel. Man, no, he didn't do that, okay? So it says, unto the servant that is wise, they that are free do service. You see, free men who have no master, they'll see a wise man and say, I want to be with him. Because you see something in him of leadership qualities, man, that you can follow. Okay? And what's the quality of somebody who's not a leader? It goes right into it. Why does it say that right after this? It says, and he that has knowledge will not grudge when he is reformed. You don't get mad because, hey, somebody done said something to you. They done rebuked you or something like that. All right? It's not something for you to hold grudges and now you want to choke everybody the fuck out because you was going off. A wise man, when I do that, he'll see it as wisdom. Okay, appreciate that, man. I was going off on this. It makes me better.
Because he gonna think. Like we just go back again. A wise man gonna go think of what he says. Kwame and I, we call it meditation. And I always tell him to speak thorough, man. Speak fluent. Speak like art. Because, you know, sooner or later, there might be something that is on his heart or through his spirit that came from the Lord that I can receive or he can receive. But a wise man, he may be quiet and he may just think on the words coming out of that individual's mouth. We just spoke about this at camp, Sirach 11 and 7. You know, you're going to be able to listen before trying to talk over someone, you know, because there might be something that you may need that you was lacking. I do it all the time, man. I tell the brother, hey, just keep talking, man. because there's something that he may be saying that I'm lacking. But if I'm not listening to him and trying to figure out what I need to say in regards to what he was saying, what did I learn?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's iron sharpened as iron. Okay? Not just one man and you doing the service to somebody else, but you ain't got nothing to learn from it. Nah, man. That's not how it works. Iron sharpens iron. I teach you as I teach myself. That's what the brotherhood is about. That's what leadership is about. Okay? Because the only real leader that we got is Yahweh Shai. All right? We submit ourselves one to another. All right? That's what you're supposed to do. And we sharpen each other on whatever. We don't rule over one another and, you know, beat that brother down and try to keep him at the fucking, eating the crumbs at your table, man. Every brother that's around you, rather it be 1, rather it be 10, rather it be 30, every single brother, it's about making him sharper and better. When you do that, you cannot be stopped as a nation. Woo. But you want to rule over everybody else. No, get back. Shut up. I'm him. No, man. That you making weak men. You make feeble knees, man. They can't even speak up. But you teach the brother, hey, this is your strong point. Use this. Mm-hmm. Now he's unstoppable. Woo. And imagine an army of men like that. That's what we are. Yeah. Yahweh Shai, man, smell. See, a lot of y'all gonna realize in that day, hey, you weren't treating your brothers right, man. Okay? It's all about building up the next man, not yourself. I'm done with it.
So I mean, like we said, man, you know, just constantly growing, you know, like this is, you know, through the spirit, man. You gotta understand unity. Every nation understand unity, man. You know, the heathens understand unity. Why? Because they can't keep governing over you if they don't have unity. That's the reason why now, as the scripture says, if two, what is it? About like, if two ain't together, it shall fall.
How can you walk together unless you agree?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you walk with each other unless two agree? So like, if I got that wrong, brothers, you know.
Yeah, paraphrasing.
Just paraphrasing, man. You know, they say two can't join together, they shall fall.
You talking about the kingdoms go against each other?
Yeah, kind of. I kept trying to get that. I got so many precepts in here, man.
Hey, we might not have everything memorized either. Yeah. It's not about that, man. All right? It's not about having every scripture memorized. We know it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, Satan, if his kingdom be divided, I
understand, man. So every nation is standing against us because they have what? Oneness.
Right.
You know? They're not, even though they may disagree, they understand the one point.
That's right.
To keep Israel down, man. Yeah. You know? Uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like, no matter what, man, hey, we got to stick together because we can't let them get back into rulership.
Yeah, that's right.
But now you start seeing that crumble because they can no longer do it. Because they're doing just like the brother was saying, I on me, you know?
Precept, Sirach 7:4. Seek not of Yahweh preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. You know? Hey, man, true leaders don't want that. All right? There's something that's given to them.
God.
Hey, what was David doing? He was out in the field tending the sheep. Yep. You know? And when they went to go get his 6 brothers, you know, they was probably up there, you know, trying to flex and shit.
Yep.
You know? They was like, well, I'm Nathan, whoever the prophet was, whoever the prophet was, like, he coming to choose a king.
Yeah. Because he was going with Jesse?
He went to Jesse and looked at his sons.
And then every time Jesse would go get one of his sons, the Lord like, nah.
Yeah, not him.
Not him. And then he got to the point where he like, the Lord just said, cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Go get what he said, get the youngest child or, you know, get the youngest son. Yep. Because Jesse was, in his mind, was trying to figure out, like, which man will be fit for the Lord, you know, to lead. But it was already appointed from the Lord to choose David.
That's right.
You you know? So, you know, hey man, that's all I got, brother.
Yeah, kind that's it basically.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna shut it down, man. Hope you brother was edified. You know, we're gonna give our praise to our Father to the east. We're gonna say Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Rakakadash. I'm gonna give double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstones who rule well. Also to the hopeful elect who preaching the truth week in and week out, day in and day out, man. Keep pushing, keep striving, keep getting better, man. And keep building your brother up. Shalom.
Shalom.